Hello guys, welcome back. Today we are going through the spring summer collection of Herill. We're gonna be trying stuff on. I got the overlords, Chase and Timothy, here today, and we're gonna fit me out and have a discussion about it, and let me know what you guys think.
All right. This is it. This is the famed Herill kit. Timbo, you wear it often in
I have it
black.
in this color, I have it in black. It's my most worn thing. I feel like I'm pretty solidly like an aficionado when it comes to denim kits and used denim. And this is like the only pair of new denim I own. Actually.
Everything else is vintage.
Yep, and it's what I'm wearing right now. Actually, I've worn
sick.
it a ton. I love this. I mean, it's just a classic take on a Type 3 and a kind of a 501. I'd say it almost leans 505-y because there's a plenty of room in the top lock. Yeah, I mean it's really just a kind of perfectly executed version of that thing.
Yeah.
You know, I love that it has like even through all the edges, it's been finished so it's fluffy and feels like old, and you don't really ever see that kind of detail unless it's actual vintage.
Yeah, it's kind of like a dusty fade, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Really kind of out in the desert feel.
And like we say this with a lot of stuff like with Orslo and things, but because this is all like natural indigo dye and everything, this is also going to continue to age. So I've already seen it, like it tends to like, you know, you see something like here that keeps increasing like as you wear it. So it's really just kind of getting you started, but this is kind of like what you want. I feel like the fit is good. It still feels vintage, you know, it's not long, and because I think sometimes that looks kind of awkward. It's still cropped, but it's also not coming up to like belly button. And they've, you know, it doesn't have the big bat wing arms, very straightforward fit in the legs. We fit a lot of people in the store in these and they just kind of work on everybody.
Yep.
For the money, I don't think you're gonna find a better version of this thing, or at least I haven't found it and I look plenty. So this is kind of their premiere. I'd say if you were just looking to get into this or get started, this is the thing to get started on.
Yep.
Because it also fits perfectly into the collection. You could technically wear this with everything on top of this throughout the rest of it.
100%, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think that that's what Herill does best, is taking something classic and just adding like touches and finishes that make it feel vintage, but also bring it a little bit more modern.
Yeah.
So
I've said it for years and I'll say it again. If you're a person who has no denim jacket, that is the #1 thing you should have in your closet, above literally anything else. So if you don't, this would be a good way to start.
it's very cool. Like it's kind
cool
of, you can't argue with it. It's a cool look.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. All right, there we go.
right.
That's the first one. Let's bring in the second one.
Hell yeah. Honestly, seeing this on is kind of sparking some interest.
I think that maybe the color might move people on, or like when especially as a flat, but this on really works nicely. I think it looks great with jeans or just like the white tees. This is how I would do it. So this is kind of a take on like a classic like old LL Bean field color. It's like a bold color choice. It almost is like mechanic's green or something. I think the real thing here is that it's been, you know, garment dyed and garment washed, and you get this really unique texture that's almost like, it almost feels like a set in wrinkle, but it's not a wrinkle, it's more of a depth in the dye. So it's really interesting when you see it in person. And I think even the color, like when he stood over there versus over here, the color kind of changes in the light a lot. I think this is a very easy piece to wear, and it's super interesting. I mean, I just love you get these big bellows pockets with the flap, and then you get the hand pockets, which I think even when he's doing that, it kind of creates a cool silhouette to it. A lot of Herill for me is taking like a classic and just doing it in a really good fit that doesn't feel too boxy and fashiony, but it doesn't feel too vintagey either. It's like sits right perfect in between. And I think that what's interesting is they just use great materials, great dyes, and it's unfussy. Like, so this feels, I just like when clothes feel really wearable.
Again, I want to say like the color felt a little challenging when we unboxed it. I was like, oh damn, that's really cool. But seeing it on has completely changed it.
I mean, we'll talk about these in a minute, but like it kind of also just sort of goes with any color I throw in front of it too. So I feel like it's really versatile for being like a bolder color choice.
Yeah, really sick.
Really great.
I'm gonna have to try that on.
Yep.
There
we go.
Yeah, hit it.
Take him in. All right, here we go.
Sleek.
So this is material first here for me. It's like Bedford cord's kind of the best. It's sort of like a corded cotton.
Yeah, it's light cord, but so tight that it almost becomes not cord.
I mean, it basically just feels like denim to me. If it maybe a little lighter weight, a little easier to break in, but it really ends up blending well to like garment dye, which is why you see like these nice highs and lows in the dye. It'll keep aging really well. It's just a really pretty fabric that's super easy to wear, especially for the spring. I love the paint splatter stuff they do here. So this is also kind of extensively the same denim as the denim jacket as far as the cut goes. I mean, as far as the fit and cut goes. And then pants are a little slimmer, closer to like, think of like, not quite 107 from Orslow, but in that range.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe a little more room up top, but still about the same fit. So it's a nice like taper fit, which I think is nice to have in the spring. Or I like buying something like this to have that I wear things over the top of. So this is like, I just treat this like a shirt.
Because it's a little more fitted. It's not like a boxy type 2 or something. It's a little more trim.
So especially if you like to do like kind of like a denim jacket as a layering piece, this is a really good option for that. But as you can see, it's fitting him really nicely, even in trimmer fit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're doing their classic little paint splatter. I think it's like the perfect amount where it doesn't feel overdone, doesn't feel, get a little hits on the back of the legs and on the pockets and stuff like that.
Dope.
But I think this one's really kind of all about the fit in the fabric. I think it's super clean and nice. Plus that like, I'm a little partial to the gray, but I just get mostly just because I think it goes with anything. It goes with browns, blacks, blues, whatever you need to put it with, it works.
Yep, and again, we'll wear with you. It'll still fade garment dyed.
I feel like you would think that it's a really restrictive garment, but I feel like really flexible and it's a good layering piece. And if I need to run, then I can do that. So.
It's an important factor.
Very important, yep.
Cool.
If I need to run.
All right, so here's the thing I want to point out with this. This is actually a Ripstop fabric, and it is like really, really washed out. So whatever you think about Ripstop, you're just
that
wrong
starchy,
on this.
crisp. It's not that at all. No.
This is like super flowy, super breathable, very lightweight. I actually love this. I have multiple jackets in it. You have a jacket in it, and I have a shirt in it as well. That's basically the same shirt. I love these pieces, and it's really the fabric. I mean, because you see it when you're up close, but it's really nice. It's all garment dyed, washed out. Very minor distressings everywhere, just little like plucks, little like pieces, little imperfections that make it really interesting, and it'll make it age really well. You can wash and dry this no problem.
Yeah, it kind of takes all the responsibility off. You have to fuss around with laundering.
It's really easy to wear. It's easy to layer because of the lightweight nature of it, but it doesn't feel like lightweight like a silk or linen where you're like a little worried about it or need to be a little careful. It's like all the benefits of, let's just say, linen or like a silk blend, but you can wash and dry it and treat it like shit, and it's only better for it. So these are anything that they do in this fabric. I don't know if we have any more right now, but I know we have more coming, because we should maybe note that this is a first shipment of a couple more. So there's more coming in this fabric, but we love this fabric from Herill. I think it's one of the things they do the best. It's super underrated, and I think it's mostly just because it's like hard to see unless you're feeling it or touching it in person. So trust us as Ripstop connoisseurs. This is kind of the best out there. Plus the fit of the shirt is really nice. It's not too big, but it still feels kind of roomy and oversized. It looks cool like he's doing it, or buttoned up and wearing underneath something super versatile to have.
Yeah, still falling off his shoulders a little bit, but it's not super true.
Plus having like a black shirt that doesn't look douchey is like impossible, and this is like perfect. I'm gonna buy this one myself.
If I were to get a piece from this collection, it would be
this.
It would be this one.
Sick.
This is really nice.
Cool.
All right, cool.
He's got like an MTV like awards thing for every single one.
Shit.
All right. So we really love this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just all talking about it. I think the pant fit is really excellent.
I think it's about as good as a pant can fit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially Alec? For doing something like roomy.
It's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, coolest thing he's ever seen. What it hits on is like doing a wider pant without it feeling like baggy. You know what I mean? It's somewhere in between. I think that's a good world to live in, especially if you're kind of trying it out. I think that if you can spin around, like it also has these cool big bellows pockets that also kind of like almost like connect to the back ones. So you get this kind of interesting thing, even though it's basically the same as always. I think the closest thing would be like some like U.S. Navy pant.
I was just gonna say a Navy pant would be
So, and I think that also the fabric is super lightweight like that too. A nice thing about like, especially all the old vintage ones, those are super neppy, and they didn't forget that here. Like these are definitely like a lot of like very textural and cool, super comfortable. I mean, I think this is as comfortable as like a fucking sweatpant or something would be.
Dude.
So on top is it's almost like it's kind of a take on like an old golf jacket or driving jacket or something.
A Windbay jacket.
Yeah. I think that like it's a little bit longer than like hip length, which is cool, especially because they do a dual zip. So if you're driving or whatever, it's not going to bunch up on you or anything. And then if I'm not mistaken, this is in Egyptian cloth.
You're correct.
Which is very nice if you've never had it before. It's like a twill, but super smooth.
Really fine.
And soft and like drapey, but still feels like thick and substantial. So again, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, this is what Herill does best, which is just like kind of slight differences on things you'd see anybody wear that for some some reason when they do it, it's like it's a super interesting full silhouette, and without really being like loud. So yeah, I love this. This is probably my favorite thing we put on so far.
I completely agree. Yeah, until we put on the next kit. So.
Yeah.
This is what I want now.
Yeah.
Because it makes me feel nice.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, and it's like
Hugs my.
Get both.
It's really nice and like cleaned up also, I just was thinking. Because it could almost be construed as like almost country club or something, but at the same time, like it's like because of the silhouette being a little different, it's really cool at the same time. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's slick.
Yeah, it's doing everything. Cool.
Love it.
You literally operate identical to a dog. It's just, you wake up and it's food.
That literally is all that I think about at all times. All right, so these pants fit him so well that we decided to keep him on for the sweater.
Yeah, the sweater is really pretty. I think you're getting a lot of like that melange thing happening, and there's really a lot of like texture when you see it in person. This one is linen, so it's very lightweight. It's gonna.
I mean, you'd say it's like a loose weave.
Pretty loose weave, yeah. So you can see where his sleeves are and stuff. It's coming through. I think that you can do this one shirtless if that's your vibe, and then just have it more be like. What I would do in that case is wear like a jacket over the top of it, so you get all the texture and the feeling without any of the cleanness. Otherwise, you can do a t-shirt, a long sleeve. I think it's okay. This is the type of sweater where you just have a little bit of that see-through, but like the comfort level on this is insane. Super nice weave to it, like we just talked about. I think it's really pretty, all the finishing that they do. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this, but all through the arms and the shoulders and a neckline and things. Really a lot of like, it's clearly very hand done. Yeah. It's gonna age really nicely. The nice thing I love about these linen sweaters, I've had a few, is they sort of grow with you a bit and sort of like
drape and hang.
Yeah, and they get a little loose and comfortable. Like I have a couple of pieces like that just are now like one of my favorites because they just feel like they're set in now, but they're a little drapier and pretty. Yeah. So really like elegant way to do a sweater in the summer without adding any bulk or weight.
Yeah, I was thinking like a nice pair of shorts, sipping on some espresso somewhere. Yeah. Luxurious.
Very nice. Cool.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to my favorite outfit. He hasn't even had it on yet, but every time goes to the camera. Shoot, man. All right.
I'll let you lead this one, Chase. This was your favorite.
Yeah, this is sick. First off, let's start with this Lambsuede Type 1. Buttery, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It's like wearing second skin. Well, I mean, technically, but it's really like it forms to you perfectly right away, and it feels like nothing. It just drapes great. It has like a weight to it while also feeling very lightweight.
Yeah,
this is really great. I mean, this is sort of like I think if you're also like not sure how to do leather or something, this is a great place to start. In that it's just so easy to wear and style. Type 1 looks great, not too long, not too short. Same thing with the arms as we talked about the Type 3, clean that up. It's just a really clean looking version of that thing. Yeah. You can easily dress this up or like beat it to shit and it'd be better for it.
Yeah,
so.
Yep, Workshirt, chambray underneath. This is dope. Decided to tuck it. It was a little long just proportionally.
It may be bigger and boxier than like a vintage one you might find, which looks great on its own, untucked, open, cardigan style, or you can tighten it up like this a little bit and then it still looks like very blousy and cool. Sharab was suggesting tuck it in, lift it up a little bit so you get that nice almost blousier look while it still feels roomy and comfortable. Texturally, the weave is really prevalent here, just like vintage ones. I feel like that's the one thing people miss when doing a chambray is you never see that quite that pretty weave that you get in the old ones.
Usually the vintage ones is from washing and drying. So many times you get that texture, so it gets overlooked.
Yeah, so this is a really well executed version of that thing. Yeah, it's kind of perfectly version of
What a jacket.
Pant is M43. M43.
Yeah, and the navy herringbone. I want to shout out the herringbone that Herill uses in particular. We'll see it on the next pant as well. The texture really shows through on it. You know how sometimes you can't tell it's a herringbone until you get up in the sun or something? This is screaming it from a while away. I love it.
I think this pant is also really cool in that it's a big baggy pant, but it's got pleats, it's got tucks at the knee, it's not too long, it's got the cinches at the bottom. You can get a lot of different silhouettes. I think if you've been wanting that kind of more classic cargo look, this is an easy way to do it where you get that cool shape that everyone wants, you know? And I think it's also because they bring the pockets up a little higher rather than keeping them on the knee where it ends up kind of dragging a bit
usually,
more.
where the fold is, I got mine on.
Even yours are a little lower, but still higher. I think that's when you get that cool look that everyone's going for. And I also think that like when they don't look huge on you, they just kind of hang and look cool.
Big.
It's full. The pleats and the way that it hugs the hips makes the pockets feel really nice.
Yeah, this is great. I love the look. I think it's super casual and somehow very put together at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, beautiful. Looks good.
There he is. Final look.
Good in a sweater. Come on.
All right, so Chase, I'll let you can take the green pants part of this.
Well, we love the green pants. Echoing what I said with the fit previous, the herringbone twill is really prominent, probably due to the washed out nature of it, but it's super textural from far away. Absolutely love these. Button fly. I like the flaps on the pockets. They get folded and bunched and shit over time. Looks cool, becomes undoubtedly yours. But this sweater is really kind of stealing the show right now.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, it's a thick yarn, looser weave, so you get a really nice like thick texture to it, but because it's loose and it's kind of a light, fluffy fabric, very breathable. So you can wear it all summer long with no issue. And then this is kind of like it's like a shortened take on a skipper collar. So it's like you almost get that little bit of a V, and then this just folds down. Normally it would be like long. In this case, it's a really short, almost like a polo collar. So it's an interesting hybrid between a couple different like vintage things that I think makes it like wearable, but also you look at it and you're like, oh, interesting. I really like how this turned out. I love this color. It's a really pretty color. I really liked it with the green. I think jewel tones can sometimes be hard for people. You're actually a big jewel tones guy. We talk about a lot, but I think it's really pretty when done well. It looks great on Alec. I really like this piece. Again, with Herill, it's just there's nothing specifically complicated about it. It's just really great fabrics, modern cuts on vintage silhouettes, and I think every single thing just works. And like almost you could buy anything in the collection that we've shown, mix and match it. We had no problem putting it together based on only Herill stuff. And if you start to build that collection, it really looks nice together because all the cuts really interplay well. Yeah, I think this looks great, man.
I love how thick the herringbone is. I think that's why the patterns come out so well. You know, it's underspoken, but it's also...
The more bold herringbone also makes it a little bit, it just lays better because it's like looser weave. So it just like, it's thick, but it really like lays and drapes nicely and will only get better when you wash and wear it. Cool.
Love it.
All right.
Let's go. Yeah, his exit.
When he exits the ring.
All right, so that is that. That is our first shipment from Herill for spring summer 25.
Yep.
Timothy said a million times, Herill does kind of really approachable things just really, really, really incredibly well.
I'd say if you wanted like a staff favorite brand, this is it. I think it's because it's so wearable and it's so like ready to go right out of the gate. The fabrics feel elevated. It's like all the stuff you normally wear but more. And then everything just is executed in this way where it's like no matter what your style is, it sort of fits in. So I really think that like no matter what you're into from what we carry or outside, you can make Herill work into your wardrobe really easily.
Something else to add, Timothy mentioned elegant. It is also super, super easy. You can beat the hell out of it and it still feels good. You would think that you have to treat it super dainty, but it feels like it's something that I can run a mile in, you know, so it's good.
6 minute mile.
Well, cool.
All right. Well, that is that. So like, comment, subscribe, be in touch with us. We enjoy doing these. We've been trying to work them in more this season in particular. Timothy and I have a podcast called Customer Service Podcast. You can find that on our website, our Instagram, etc., etc. Drop some suggestions for videos in the future. And that's about it. Thank you so much for being here. This is the first video we've recorded since the Beams collab. So also if you participated in that and you snagged a suit, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We really appreciate you. Let us turn up for a couple days. So, but thank you so much for being here. Be in touch. Appreciate you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. See you later.
All right, I'm gonna go repark my shit.
Until next time.